Word building is one of the main ways of enriching vocabulary. English word formation is a system of derivative types of words and the process of creating new words from material available in the language after certain structural and semantic formulas and patterns. The main distinction is made between two basic types of word formation, word derivation and word composition. The principal ways of forming words in word derivation are affixation and conversion. Words consisting of a root and an affix or several affixes are called derived words, and this process of word formation is known as affixation. Conversion is the process of making new words by changing one category of parts of speech from words of another. Word composition is the formation of a new word by combining two or more stems which can occur in the language as free forms. There are four main or productive ways of word building in modern English. They are affixation, word composition, conversion, shortening, or abbreviation. There are also secondary or non-productive ways of word building: sound interchange, stress interchange, reduplication, sound imitation, blending, and backformation. Affixation is one of the most productive ways of word building throughout the history of English. It consists in adding an affix to the stem of a definite part of a speech. Affixation is divided into suffixation and prefixation. Suffixation is the formation of words with the help of suffixes. The main function of suffixes in modern English is to form one part of speech from another. The secondary function is to change the lexical meaning of the same part of speech. There are different classifications of suffixes. The first type of suffixation is part of speech classification. Suffixes which can form different parts of speech fall into several groups: noun forming suffixes, adjective forming suffixes, verb forming suffixes, adverb forming, and numeral forming suffixes. Semantic classification. Suffixes changing the lexical meaning of the stem can be subdivided into groups. For example, noun-forming suffixes can denote the agent of the action, nationality, collectivity, diminutiveness, quality. The third type of suffixation is lexicogrammatical character of the stem. Suffixes which can be added to certain groups of stems are subdivided into suffixes added to verbal stems, suffixes added to noun stems, and suffixes added to adjective stems. Origin of suffixes. From the point of view of their etymology, suffixes can be subdivided into two main classes: native and borrowed suffixes. Native Germanic suffixes, Romanic, Greek, or French suffixes. Productivity of derivational suffixes. It means the ability of being used to form new, occasional, or potential words. They can be the following groups: productive or non-productive. Prefixation is the formation of words by means of adding a prefix to the stem. In English, prefixes are more independent than suffixes. Prefixes can be classified according to the nature of words in which they are used. Prefixes used in notional words and prefixes used in functional words. Prefixes used in notional words are proper prefixes, which are bound morphemes. Prefixes used in functional words are semi-bound morphemes because they are met in the language as words. The main function of prefixes in English is to change the lexical meaning of the same part of speech. Prefixes can be classified according to different principles. Semantic classification. Semantically, prefixes can be divided into monosemantic, that is, the prefix has only one meaning, and polysemantic. The prefix dis, for example, has several meanings. According to their denotational meaning, prefixes fall into prefixes of negative meaning, prefixes denoting repetition or reversal actions, and prefixes denoting time, space, degree relations such as inter, hyper, ex, for example, in the word ex-student, and so on. Origin of prefixes can be native Germanic, Romantic, or Greek. Word composition or compounding is one of the productive ways of word building when a new word is formed by joining two or more stems. Compound words are inseparable vocabulary units that are structurally and semantically based on the relationship between their components through which they are motivated. The structural unity of a compound word depends upon the unity of stress, where compounds have three stress patterns. The first one, a high or uniting stress on the first component. The second one is a double stress with the main stress on the first component and with a secondary stress on the second component. And the third type of stress is two-level stresses. Solid or hyphenated spelling. Most compounds have two types of spelling written either solidly or with a hyphen. For example, heartbreak, keyhole, highway, babysitter, or bank manager. The semantic unity of a compound word is often very strong. In such cases, we have idiomatic compounds, where the meaning of the whole is not a sum of meanings of its component. For example, to ghostwrite, to skinhead, brain drain. Unity of morphological and syntactical functioning are used in a sentence as one part of it and only one component changes grammatically. For example, these girls are chatterboxes. Chatterboxes is a predicative in the sentence and only the second component changes grammatically. There are two characteristic features of English compounds. Both components in English compounds are free stems, that is, they can be used as words with a distinctive meaning of their own. The sound pattern will be the same except for the stress. English components have a stem pattern with the exception of compound words which have form word stems in their structure. According to the parts of speech, compounds are subdivided into nouns such as baby moon, table lamp, adjectives, for example, first class, power happy, down market, verbs, for example, to honeymoon, to handpack, as well as adverbs, prepositions, numerals, and pronouns. According to the way of components joined together, compounds are divided into morphological compounds, where components are joined by linking element, for example, vowel O, syntactical compounds, where the components are joined by means of form word stems with the help of linking elements represented by prepositions or conjunctions, for example, here and now, free for all, hide and seek, and so on. According to the structure, compounds are subdivided into neutral or compounds proper, which are formed by combining together two stems without any joining morpheme. Derivational compounds have affixes in their structure, for example, ear-minded, newcomer, storyteller, and so on. Compound words consisting of three or more stems, for example, cornflower blue, eggshell thin, merry-go-round, etc. Compound shortened words have a shortened stem in their structure, for example, motocross, and so on.